What's up, guys? Welcome back to Beyond the Perception. We appreciate everyone who watched, liked, and commented on our first episode. Today, we're going to be diving into our next topic, which is theories about the pyramids and how they were built. There's a lot of suspicions about how the pyramids were built, and I'm curious to know David's opinions as well as voice my own on topics that we found interesting when looking into this.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again to everyone who did watch or listen. It is greatly appreciated. We just started this out, so we'll see how it ends up going. I do also have my thoughts and opinions. I'll probably be arguing a lot with Ryan here, but that's the fun of it. Some arguments will probably be made. Probably gonna call him a dumbass once or twice. So here we go.
Well, you want to start?
No, I'm gonna let you start because you're the conspiracy theorist over here. I'm the one that likes to stick with history and facts. You know.
Yeah, okay. So, basically, to start off, when you look into the Egyptian hieroglyphics, they don't show anything about anybody cutting stones or like the construction of the pyramids themselves. Like they just kind of like they just depict pictures of like Egyptians' life. But if you did an achievement that is that big when you like want to show it off, like in your hieroglyphics, kind of. So I find it weird that they like don't show anything like that, but they do. Parts of them actually like show like stuff that kind of looks like UFOs or like technology that we wouldn't know about. I find that really interesting.
Okay, so I'm not disagreeing with you, but this guy named Zahi Hawass, I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name, so I'm probably definitely butchering his name. They from the workers that helped build the pyramids and all that in their tombs, they have writing in there and symbols, and it basically explained that they did build the pyramids. So that's my argument with against that.
So like there's writings like inside the tombs, like kind of saying that they like did everything.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like word for word, but it basically, like, I guess they looked at the builders' tombs and they were able to see that they like inscribed and like wrote out like what they did.
Gotcha. So I guess like a way to counter what you just said, because I'm disagreeing with you. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Is that what we know about the Egyptian like civilization is that they were a civilization in the Bronze Age. And what we know about the Bronze Age is like it was the first time bronze was introduced as like a metal to the world. So like it's like 4,000 however many years ago. And they didn't really know much about metal. They just knew how to work with bronze. So like using bronze tools, we know that you like can't just chop a stone. Like it was years and years and years of work. But people, or from what we know or that we think, the pyramids were only built over a course of 30 years. So these people picked up these like up to 80 tons worth of weight and moved them into the pyramids and built those shapes and was able to chisel them down to like those precise like spots to where they built the pyramids the way they were. I find it really weird that they were able to move 2,300,000 stones like that, and some of them weighing up to 80 tons. That just doesn't sound like something that like humans could do. You know what I mean? Like from what we know about the ancient Egyptians.
Okay, so your only argument to that is it just seems like it's not possible, right?
Yeah, like it kind of like due to the sheer like massive amount of like work that it had to take, there's no way that they were able to build that in like 30 years.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, I feel like at that point you're saying like I would answer that with a question like do normal human beings not do impossible things every day?
No, normal human beings do impossible things every day. It's just like it's hard for me to like put my mind to the fact that they were able to move that many stones and were able to lift 80 tons of weight, up to 80 tons of weight. So like not every single stone was 80 tons, obviously.
Yeah.
But they were able to move up to 80 tons of weight high into these pyramids. So like they're way up in the sky. How like
Okay.
it's hard for me to fathom the sheer like ability to do that off of like human strength alone.
So I understand what you're saying. There's actual proof that there was a ramp that around the pyramids to help them do this.
Okay.
There's also a internal. It's called the internal ramp theory. So what that theory states is that the beginning of the pyramid, it's a small ramp at the beginning, the first part of the
And it just
ramp.
kind of works the way its way up.
Yeah, well, so the first part of the ramp, they would use that, build around the bottom, the base, the foundation. Once you get up, the ramp keeps going. They would continue building the ramp, and with that the ramp, they were able to build the rest of it.
So like the ramp's like the middle structure, and they're kind of building around this so they can use the ramp for heights. to like get up there.
Yeah. Some people, I guess, one guy's theory was that it's like more of a spiral. That way
Okay.
you're able to continue building up.
Yeah, so they couldn't have that base and just keep moving up.
Yeah.
Okay. But like they were able to do that with like bronze tools.
Who says they can't?
I mean, yeah, you're right. We don't know what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it's just a big misconception, and I've kept telling you this before. It's like I feel like people are just stuck in a box, and it's just like you're thinking inside this box, and you can't say like, oh, they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. Like, just because we think they can do it doesn't mean they couldn't do it.
Yeah. I think we need to do more digging into the pyramids, like themselves.
Wow, what a nice pun there.
Yeah, thank you. I think we need to do more digging and see like what we actually can find out about these people. Like, because like you said, there's words written in these tombs that like may depict how the pyramids themselves were built. But like, what if inside these like there's still tombs that we haven't discovered? Like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago they found like an upper layer to a tomb that we haven't even been into yet. So like maybe if we kept digging, we might find some more ways that they actually built the pyramids.
I definitely agree. There's probably a lot of stuff we haven't discovered yet in pyramids because they're just so big.
Yeah. So another theory that I thought was pretty interesting is what if the pyramids were there before the ancient Egyptians actually showed up?
Okay.
No. Hear me out. Like, let me cook, bro. What if giants actually created the pyramids? Okay. So what we know about giants as like a race is there are texts out there. It's called the Book of Enoch. And the Book of Enoch was originally part of the Christian church, but they eventually got rid of it because I forget what the reasoning behind getting rid of it was, but like they did away with it, right? But in this Book of Enoch, there's a Christian church group out there that like basically followed the Book of Enoch and they kept it, so like they formed their own religion outside of Christianity. And they follow this, and within this text, it basically talks of a species called a Nephilim. I might be saying that wrong, but Nephilims were angels that mated with humans, basically, and these humans that were or that the like thing that came from these were these giants, and people think that these giants were the evil that roamed around or walked around the earth that God had to cleanse during Noah's day, and people think that the giants were actually what made the pyramids.
So you're saying, so you think it was giants and they did it before the Egyptians?
Yeah, so this is one theory.
Well,
is that
what's to say that these giants weren't Egyptians, you know?
that's true?
Yeah.
But it says that in the Book of Enoch, these giants were supposed to have been gotten rid of during the great floods of Noah. And then there's actually like mountains that resemble like these huge humans that people think are like actual like remnants of the giants that fell down during the
I mean, I'm not
floods.
I'm not disagreeing that there weren't giants. I personally do think there were giants. Maybe not like 20-foot tall giants, but
Yeah.
I do think there were some type of giants.
Like we see 7-foot people and we're like, dude, that guy's a giant.
Yeah. I mean, what's to say that these giants weren't just like, as again said, like, I don't know, because like I said, there's like writing that they say they did it, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's writing that it was like a big Egyptian project.
So let me follow you up there. So history is written by the winners, right?
Yeah.
So if there's nobody to write about their achievements, and someone, from what we know about humans, if we were to stumble upon something, would they not claim that for themselves?
Yeah, I think that's a very good point.
Because if you were to walk up to the pyramids, like, I don't know about you, if it was just me and my boys, like, back in the day speaking Ooga Ooga, if I see a pyramid, bro, I'm taking that thing. Like, that is mine, dude.
Yeah, but you think all of these workers would just write in there, have like script, what was it?
Hieroglyphs.
Yeah, hieroglyphs about them building the pyramids. Like, oh yeah, why not just claim it? Like, oh, we found this, you know?
Yeah.
Because exploration at that time is still like a big thing, and discovery is also a big thing. Like Christopher Columbus being the first one to sail across, discover America, that was a big thing.
But you gotta think that Christopher Columbus was years.
No, I understand that. I'm just using that like as an example. Like discovery was still like back in the day was a big feat to accomplish back then.
What if we don't know the connection that the world actually had with each other, and we think that Christopher Columbus was the first person like do anything like that.
Oh, well, technically he wasn't the first person. I think there was like a Phineas and Ferb episode where I learned that it was this guy named Leif Erikson who was the first person to discover America.
Wait, really? He actually like came across before?
Yeah, Christopher Columbus was the first one that is like, I guess, like written down in history. But there was, I don't know if it was Leif Erikson. I could be completely wrong about that. But there was somebody before Christopher Columbus. So I guess you could say maybe somebody came before the Egyptians and found it, but I don't know.
I think that theory is interesting. I like that one.
I think the theory is interesting, but like I said, I just feel like I feel like it's pretty messed up to just lie and like say you did it.
Yeah, but we know throughout history that humans aren't necessarily the best people for judgment or doing the best things possible.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And we do know history is written by the victors, so I think that's a really good point.
I guess, if you want to go that route.
Yeah. I also found another part interesting. There's one theory out there that the Great Pyramids were actually used as this like gigantic energy source. And this relates to them, like, what are they? They're like aligned with the stars, right? Or something.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
So like basically this like theory states that like kind of on top of these big ass pyramids are something called like a capstone, I think is what they're called. I don't know the exact word for it, but they think that these things are like energy conductors. And they've done tests with like little parts of metals between these, and it like flips them and holds them in air. So people think that these are like energy conductors, and that the reason why they're aligned with the stars is that they're feeding into the Earth's energy itself, and that they found a way to find sustainable energy. That like, so you know how we use electricity and we have to pay for it? People think that they found a way to do sustainable energy without like ruining the Earth or anything.
So you think these guys back in however many years ago had electricity back then?
I don't think that they did. I think that there's a possibility they did, because there's so much that we do not know about our ancestors.
So you say there's factual proof that there are these rocks up there?
So yeah, so there was these big ass, I don't know if they're called capstones. They're huge stones that cover the top of these pyramids. And it's not just in Egypt. They were in the Mexico pyramids too. There's a man by the name of Graham Hancock who goes through and he actually discovered or looks into these pyramids. And at the top of most of them, there's like these big stones that have been taken off, and they're in like these museums now. And people think that they're energy conductors, and that they could have actually been a way of sustaining energy to like force a way of electricity into these pyramids and structures. We don't know if what that electricity does, because we don't know what type of electricity it is, or like what type of energy it could be building. But people think that it could be like an energy conductor. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but I think that's a lot of speculation there. I feel like there's no way to prove that.
Oh, no, I agree. That one was out there. I just think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, are you saying aliens?
I think aliens could be a possibility here, because there's no way our primitive selves that were speaking ooga, 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 running around, like, hitting each other with, like, rocks and shit.
What's wrong with ooga, ooga? I feel like you're just saying that means they're dumb. That could be their language. Just because they're saying ooga, ooga doesn't mean that's not a sophisticated language for them.
That is true. That could have been their way of, like, communicating. They could have been, like, telekinetic, bro.
Okay.
Like, they could have talked to each other through, like, the minds. That'd be kind of cool.
You're a dumbass.
That's kind of mean, man. But, yeah.
Wait, so you said these rocks are in museums?
Yeah, so they have them, basically when the British had come over to Egypt, there's thoughts that they had like cut these things out of the top of these pyramids and put them into like British museums and stuff like that. And that when they were like coming over to settle, that they would just take stuff from these pyramids. So we don't actually know much about the pyramids in themselves, because so much of it was lost due to history. Because these people were like invading them and coming over and like stealing shit. And you know, over the course of time, stuff wears down. So like people think that like a lot of what the pyramids actually were may have been lost to nature.
Yeah, it is a real thing. It is called a capstone.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude! I'm forebrained right now. My third eye is open.
I mean, you said they put rocks on it and they would flip out?
No, so I watched this one video.
You think it's like a magnetic pull or something?
Yeah, it basically it wasn't the exact rocks. My bad for saying it like that. They had like done an experiment with how the rocks were made, and they had like these two things that were lined up, kind of like a football
Mm-hmm.
goalpost, and in the middle they would put like a piece of metal, and that piece of metal was like floating, and they could spin it, and it would stay floating in air, like conducted, kind of like a magnetic pull.
Mm-hmm.
So people think that the top of these pyramids were actually like used like that to sustain energy, but we don't know what like they did with that energy, obviously. And then like to go along with that, people think that so much of it was lost to time. Like what we think we know about the pyramids might just be completely wrong because that was 4,000 years ago. So we probably lost so much of what we could have learned through time.
Do you think these capstones still have their quote unquote power or whatever?
I don't know. I think if we were to put the capstones on top of the pyramids again, we might be able to see something that we'd never seen before. Or maybe we could.
Yeah, but these capstones are so old that maybe they would just fall apart.
Well, maybe we run experiments trying to mimic exactly the top of these pyramids and see what would happen if we do it on our own. Because what if we were to recreate it? And this is like the next step for our journey in life is to figure out a new way of energy.
Yeah, but how do you recreate something you don't really know what it is? Because all it says is it's kind of just like a big rock of granite.
Yeah. I mean, I guess how do we make things in general? We experiment, right?
Yeah.
Maybe someone can make a hypothesis and start testing it, and maybe someone can get lucky and it turns into sustainable energy, and we'll never have to pay another power bill in our lives.
Yeah, but see, the problem about sustainable energy is it's not profitable. Like, I think this is way off topic, but that's the reason why it's like not legal to make, or I don't know if it's not legal, but that's why there is no such thing as a infinite light bulb, just because it's not financially stable. Because once you have one light bulb that will never run out, then everyone would just buy one light bulb and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's why they make light bulbs with a lifespan of a certain
So
amount
they
of time.
can keep making
so they
money.
can keep
off
making
the
money
consumer.
off of it.
Yeah, that's way off topic.
So like even if we did like this was a way of for having like sustainable energy, like that would never make it out to the public. Like that it would never be allowed just because there's no way to make money off of it. That would like get rid of oil, electricity, all that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's probably a topic for another day.
Yeah.
So to bring us back on topic, how do you think the ancient Egyptian civilization had knowledge and understanding of math, architecture, and astronomy that was like way beyond their time? Because we know that they had the ability of doing math because they had, I don't remember what they're called, but I think you showed it to me yesterday. It was like a picture and it kind of looked like a calculator.
Oh yeah, it's not. I don't think it's the same one, but it was an Agabus.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's one they used, but I think that's one that was used at some point in some civilization.
And we know math started in Egypt, so like, I mean, I'll throw it out there. Maybe aliens were involved. I think aliens could have been involved because I think it's really weird for us to think that our ancestors were very primitive and not very smart, but yet they had basic understanding of, well, maybe not basic. They had complex understanding of astronomy at least because they aligned the pyramids with the stars. They had a very good understanding of math and they had an insane understanding of architecture because whether we want to admit it or not, if we were to build a pyramid like that today, that's not easy. Like, even with our technology, we couldn't do that very quickly.
Again, you're going back to this thought process that it was done quickly.
Yeah.
We saw that it took them 32 years. To be fair, I think we probably could recreate the pyramids in probably less time than that with all the advancement and tools that we have. Like we could fly a helicopter or have like a big ass crane that would place like rocks in certain locations.
Oh, I think we could. I just don't think it'll be easy.
Oh no, it's not easy to build any type of structure.
Yeah. But it's crazy that they had the understanding of like architecture that like we're starting to understand now,
Yeah.
For someone who's supposed to be primitive in knowledge and not know everything. Like maybe aliens came down and were like, hey, we're going to help these poor souls out. And then maybe we lost our ways through time.
Yeah, I mean, my argument there would be that like they have brains, and obviously the brain is a curious thing. So they're not just like no civilization or no human being has ever just like been content with things. That's why there's always been advancements in things. Like obviously you're just gonna get naturally curious, and you're just gonna try to like do more and like figure stuff out. So they probably didn't know what math was back then.
Yeah.
Like they probably like kept like trying to like push themselves until they were able to create language, start writing stuff down, and figuring out math. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because we do know ancient Egypt was like the influence for like everything that we know today, pretty much,
Yeah.
language wise. I just think it's. I mean, yeah. I guess one civilization would have to get credit for being like
yeah.
the advancement to society. Someone had to have done it. And I guess they were the ones to do it.
Like if you think about cavemen, like eventually, like one caveman had to have been like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I have to go out and I have to eat. How do I eat? Have to go hunt.
Yeah.
How do I hunt? Pointy stick, stab something, food." Like you gotta think, like the mind's gonna figure out a way to do things based off of reactions of like yourself.
Yeah, and then we know after the cavemen came like fire,
Yeah,
and then through evolution, we as humanoids actually developed really quickly. So maybe Egypt had like just come out. Well, we know since they're like in the Bronze Age, maybe they were like the end to the hunter gatherers, and they started like the golden age of civilization where people were able to prosper and stuff.
yeah. You have anything else to say here, man?
I'm kind of running low on ideas here, man, but
I mean, are there any certain ideas that you would like further like to elaborate on?
so I think that there's a possibility that aliens were involved with building the pyramids. Do you think there was any way at all aliens were involved?
I forget if we talked about this on the last episode, but I just feel like I just think it'd be very hard to explain why aliens came to Earth like one time and just never came back and just like never returned. And just we're here to help build pyramids and we're like, yeah, we're out of here. How would you explain the purpose of pyramids with aliens?
Well, I mean, do we have pyramids around today?
I mean, technically, yes.
I mean, we're not actively building pyramids
Yeah.
anymore. So, like, why pyramids, you know? So, I think aliens could be involved through pyramids because back in the ancient times, well, not ancient, but like back in those times of the golden or the Bronze Age, we see a lot of pyramids being constructed around like Mexico, Bolivia, Egypt, all throughout the Americas. Actually, they're starting to discover a bunch of them down in South America. I think that aliens could have been involved because there's got to be some central theme with all these pyramids. So, like, why are they all pyramids? You know, and I think that the aliens might have shared knowledge to our ancestors to try to help develop our race as like humans. And then somewhere along the line, we lost our ways, and through greed and wealth, people have started to separate themselves from what the aliens may have taught us in the beginning times.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a possibility. It's just very hard, like I said, to imagine aliens coming down, helping out the Egyptians build these pyramids. I mean, I think maybe one of the points you brought up is there's writing or hieroglyphics of, UFOs out there. But, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see a possibility of how it could be aliens.
Yeah. I will say to counter the idea of the UFO, if what we do know about our ancestors is they didn't like, they were just primitive in like their knowledge and stuff, maybe the UFOs that people were seeing are just like random shapes that they were drawing, trying to figure out how to understand language, you know?
Yeah, and it could be just like them just drawing a flying object. I think everyone's kind of has some type of curiosity with a flying object. That's why we started flying planes or creating planes and trying to fly.
That is true. And we see in movies now, like, people hoping, or they make movies like Back to the Future where they show, like, the future in hopes that we, like, once we get there, it'll be like that.
Yeah, well, the hopes is, hoverboards, flying cars. For some reason, there's just a fixation on flying.
Yeah, so maybe what they were doing is fixating on what the future could look like.
Yeah. There's something to say that what they drew was, in fact, a UFO, an alien, unidentified flying object.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really hard to think about stuff that we have trouble comprehending as humans too. Like, I find it hard to think that aliens could be involved, but I think that they could be involved just because there's so many weird coincidences about the pyramids. That's what, like, there's so many conspiracies about this that, like, makes me think, like, hey, there's no way these fucking primitive people made these structures.
Yeah, but it's also a reason for why there are conspiracy theories, because people just think, like, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Just because we don't think it's not possible doesn't mean it is possible.
Just question everything legitimately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a topic I would jump to based off of that would just be like, don't you think it's kind of disrespectful to Egyptians the fact that we're making conspiracy theories up that couldn't have been them, I think it's pretty disrespectful to them.
That is true. Like they could have been like this master race that we just don't know nothing about, and they could have been like way more advanced than we give them credit for, and they could have done some incredible things.
Yeah, like imagine spending your whole lifetime to build a pyramid. It took 32 years. You die because, people didn't live that long back then. And then fast forward, thousands and thousands of years later, and people are like, oh, yeah, there's no way these people could have created it because they weren't smart enough. They were dumb. It had to have been aliens. Someone had to have helped them do that. I
Yeah.
think it's pretty disrespectful.
Dude, they're gonna come back as zombies and fucking kill us.
Okay, yeah, zombies.
They're just rolling in their graves, just fuming at what we're talking about right now,
Yeah.
just ready to square up.
I mean, I think it's just rude, disrespectful. You're kind of tearing down their history too if it was them. It's just,
Yeah. No, I get you. I think this would be a great segue into talking about what we can discuss on our next episode.
what is going to be discussed on our next episode?
I kind of want to go into ancient civilizations because I think I started to discuss a lot about them.
Yeah, there are a lot of different ancient civilizations we could cover. I mean, we need to stick to like one or two, or just like go over like a broad area of many different ones. It'd be up to you at that point.
Yeah, we can discuss and we'll come back to them next week.
Yeah, we can do that.
But for the time being, thank you guys for being with us. This was Beyond the Perception, and see you guys next week.
See you guys.